Hey, what's up everybody? The Pond Professor here, coming to you from the Pond Guy's place. We are ready to start construction. As you can see, looks like a bomb already went off here. Tons of construction. Look at all these shrubs and stuff that have been ripped out. Mark Hellman, AJ, Robert from Wasatch Ponds, they have been busy out here doing demo work, took out the old staircase, they had to bust out concrete, they put in a new retaining wall, took out some of the old patios, pulled out the hot tub, so they have been busy doing a lot of damage out here. Now we're gonna start doing the construction. I am here with Cruz and his team. What we're gonna do is we are gonna start excavating the lower reservoir. What we have happening here is there's gonna be a 1,500 gallon reservoir down at the bottom, right over here, a permeable pavement on top of it. We're gonna have a beautiful waterfall cascading into it. And then over in this middle section, that's where the pond will be located. You can kind of see there's a little bit of elevation change over there. Waterfall is gonna start back up there and it's gonna kind of wrap itself around through a bunch of little seating areas and things like that, and then it's going to come into view and it's going to come into a pond. It's going to go into a stream again, and then it's going to come back down into that reservoir. What I love about this design, kind of mimics the natural stuff that's happening around here. If you look down at the bottom of that valley, it's the Provo River, just beautiful stuff, and it's this long meandering river system. So we're trying to stay with that philosophy. We're trying to keep with that natural look, those twists and turns and oxbows and stuff like that, which creates a really, really unique view. So let's get started. We're gonna start laying stuff out, start digging. Big challenges here, obviously, fences, gates, tight access. So we definitely have our work cut out for us. That's what we're here for. All right, stay tuned for this one. Excavation for the reservoir has begun. Everything is laid out, starting at the bottom, working our way up. Pond is going to go in this section. Stream, waterfall is going to wrap around. You can kind of see, maybe very, very, very faintly, there's an orange line right over here, 12-foot diameter, small seating area. Waterfall is going to start tucked way up over here. Evergreens may get moved. The reason being a little bit tight width-wise, but also elevation-wise. I'd like to have a little bit more of a dramatic waterfall there, just because it's going to be visible from inside the home. So you can see, come on in, we have kitchen, dining area. So we want to be able to look out and see that waterfall. And then there's going to be a small stream wrapping around that seating area. And then it's going to cascade down a series of steps, bridges going across, and then it will enter the main pond. Ideally, we kind of lay things out where the fish could actually kind of go into like a little bit of a deep stream with the bridge, so that maybe the fish can go underneath that little bridge area, and then the waterfall's just on the upstream part of that. So it would be dropping down. We'd have all one elevation for this entire span, going all the way out over here to the excavator, and then a series of small cascades going down into that subterranean reservoir. We have a pretty big footprint here. So this entire patio is 16-foot diameter. So we need a good solid foundation. By taking the proper time, preparing the sub bases, making sure everything is compacted and leveled, it's going to ensure that this is going to last for many, many years. Right over here where AJ's sitting with the excavator, that's going to be the location of the waterfall coming into this little sunken seating area. There's going to be a fire pit over here in the middle, a little bit of a seat wall over here on the back, but look at that view. You're going to be looking out over that incredible mountain space, as well as that beautiful river down below, which is loaded with trout. We are waiting on the AquaBlox. It should be arriving here any minute. We'll start building the AquaBlox to get everything prepared. AquaBlox are built, heavy fabric has been cut, bottom elevation has been completed, we leveled, compacted, and then we brought in the layer of the sand. So Bob brought out some sand for us. Pump vaults are located in proper position. All the piping is going to run up the back of the pond up to the waterfall. Our next step is to put the fabric in, rubber liner, another layer of fabric, and then AquaBlox. heavy duty fabric is in place. This is going to protect the bottom from any abrasions and things like that, but it also increases load bearing capacity. It spreads the weight out over a huge area. This material does not stretch. It is a geotechnical material. It's used in all types of stabilization systems, as well as increasing the load bearing capacity of subsoils. So this is going to do the job for us. AquaBlox are going in, 50 large AquaBlox. Once those are all in place, we will then go around the outside perimeter to backfill everything, and then there's going to be a geogrid going over the top to handle the base material. So it's a CA57, a 3/4 inch clear. There are no fines, so that'll create the proper structure, but it'll also allow the permeability, which is the most important part. So AquaBlox are in, everything looks good, it's level. Stream, waterfall, working way this way, pond. There is a ton of work here, and it is going to look phenomenal. We are making progress here. Let me give you a little bit of an overview of everything that has been happening here. As usual, look at this, tons of stuff taken care of. We got big retaining walls in over here, biofalls are set, looks like plumbing's in place. So now over on this section we have our pond kind of stretching out through here, and then this is that 1,500 gallon reservoir down on the bottom that was set in position. We have the AquaBlox in place, geogrid going over that, and then there is crushed stone on top of that for permeable pavement. You can see all the wall work has been taken care of around the outside perimeter. That elevation does have to come up a bit, and then we have that waterfall coming in right over here in this corner, right on the back side of this machine here. What we need to do here today is we're going to start carving some of this stuff out, and we're going to start working our way over into the pond area. This section is going to have to be left opened up just so we have access for heavy equipment and machinery and everything to finish that section. But there is a deep stream going through here, so that should be an easy thing to do. We could leave that section open, build some of those waterfalls, and work our way out. A little bit of a challenge, but nothing that can't be overcome. So the section we're going to start out on is right down here at the bottom. We need to get a waterfall in here, so we're going to set some bigger stones, but we also have a unique transition that's going to be happening between the patio and the waterfall. So Cruz just showed me the elevation.
Right here. That's paver elevation.
So paver elevation is there. So we need to follow that, and we're going to transition into some big slabs of stone here, and then we're going to have a waterfall on the other side, but we have to have an area in between these big slabs, which have to be fairly sizable because they're going to hold all the pavers in place. So we don't want those shifting around. So those have to be pretty structural. The stuff over here in the back is actually going to create our main waterfall. This area right here in between is where the water from the pond has to get back down into the AquaBlox going to the pumps, which are hidden behind this wall over here. So we want to make sure that everything functions properly. We don't have a lot of leaf debris here, so I'm not too concerned with it, but I do know Greg's travel schedule, and we want to try to have as low a maintenance as possible. So if you get debris in here, what's going to happen is it's going to accumulate down here on the bottom. If it builds up excessively, it's not going to allow water to get back down to the pumps, and then that could cause a hydraulic imbalance basically. This is going to pump dry, water starts going up to the top, you could have potential leaks and things like that. So there are some challenges associated with this type of a design, but when done properly, works really, really well, and I think it's a unique look, and that's really what we're going for here. So we are making progress. Elevation is set for the patio, which is going off of this stone. You have the steps coming down. This rock is kind of jutting into the patio area a bit, and then we're going to have a couple waterfalls coming down in here. So we got a couple little frames in here, waterfalls cascading down, and now Mark is cutting into one of the stumps that they found, which is going to go right in this middle section right here, and we're debating having another small fall kind of coming off of that. So we're going to have to see how all of that shakes out, I guess, once we start doing some of that excavation. But I think it'll be a nice little addition. So Mark is cutting the first pocket, which is going to go right around the corner of this rock here. We are manipulating it a bit. We want to see that beautiful face of it right there. We're digging the connecting section between the pond and the waterfall going down into the reservoir. So this is going to kind of have a little bit of a deep stream over in here. There will be a bridge crossing. So Bernie is bringing up one of his bridges from Southern California, which would be perfect over here. So we're thinking that bridge is going to cross right in this section here. We open up the pond a little bit wider to allow the fish to come closer under the edge of that bridge. Then what we're going to do is we're going to transition from there to a waterfall coming down to go over this rock right here that has that level on it. We also put in that beautiful stump over there in the background. So what we want to try to do is we're making the waterfalls from this section visible mainly from the fire pit area. You might get a couple glimpses and things from the home, but the main priority is going to be the fire pit and lower seating area. So what we want to do, dig it out, get the geotextile in place, then come in with our liner, another layer of the geotextile, and then we're going to start setting all those boulders that are over there behind Dan and Mark. Waterfall's turning out pretty cool. Connected this stuff up over in this section, setting the right elevation. AquaBlox, we had to leave a section of that open. That's an infiltration area right where that bucket's at. So that's how the water's going to connect from the pond, cascading over all these waterfalls. It has to go down through those blocks to go underground over to our pumps. An entire underground infrastructure system underneath the area that I'm standing on. So that's key for this. And then everything is going to be stretching out over there. I'm loving the look of this. You can see taller waterfall right here going all the way down, short waterfall going to here, and then falling this way. So all that's going to come together. We're working on some waterfalls back here to make that connection point. That's a critical piece. A little bit tricky, dropping in a few boulders. We want to split water and get a little bit of water a little bit higher than this. I don't like when things are perfectly even. 75% of the water is going to come this way, 25%, maybe even less water coming over here. Just a small ribbon of water coming from that behind that stump. We have to create, though, in order to pull that off, we have to have a higher ridge behind it to split water around to those various areas. We have a lot of work in front of us, but we're making headway. Dan, what are you working on?
Just dropped this log in through here that we're going to do a bit of tweaking to. It's going to be quite fun, I think. Basically working on getting then some bibs into these areas where if we didn't, the water would then obviously just rush straight through, come into our AquaBlox below. So we've got our foam in here, I'm sure you guys have seen many a time before. Then cut a piece of fabric, heavy duty fabric, to then push down into beds into it and just really binds together. And then these little seams here, up into here, round through here. I'm going to have to foam as well. Get some nice boulders into here, or little cobbles. And then the water's going to pool up into here, come this way, final entrance to the basin.
Awesome. We started dividing up the team a little bit just so we can get a little bit more done. This was taking more time down at the bottom, becoming a little bit more elaborate. It will be awesome, but definitely taking a little bit more time just because of some of the little extra details that we're trying to figure out with this waterfall system. We started dropping in some of our larger boulders. AJ went and picked up some really nice character rocks earlier today, so we have those available. We started rocking in the bottom, so we got that deep zone taken care of. Now, what we want to try to do is get a few of these big slabs set right over here so you can see, I mean, look at that rock. I mean, it's just carved out. So right here where I was just standing, we're going to have a big rock outcropping coming here. So we're going to have all the flowing water coming down. We're going to kick it out, push that current this way, and then it's going to swirl through this, and then we want to kick it out again. We're going to get a big slab here, which Dan just brought up from the front. We do have our elevations and stuff set here at this overflow point. That's probably one of the more critical things that you have to think about when you're looking at a negative edge style feature. The water level is going to be set by your waterfall stone, and it's going to back up inside of here. So we are down to the last couple rocks here for the evening. Sun is dropping down below the mountaintop. Liking the way this is coming out. Nice big rustic blocks of stone in here. A little bit of edges down in this section. Some narrow joints. Increases water velocities and kind of opens up into some pooling areas. We got that slab up here on top. There will be a bridge going across, low profile bridge. Mark's coming in with this last big rock. Hopefully everything's gonna set the way I want it. I want it to sit on top of this and kind of stick out a little bit.